Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. It's set to be a long night in State Parliament as debate over Michael Ferguson's ministerial performance heats up. Labor says the Health Minister should be sacked immediately, but the Premier is standing by his experienced Cabinet colleague.
The no confidence motion was no surprise. As for what came next...
There is not a single member of their backbench, Madam Speaker, who's prepared to stand up and defend him. Not one of them. Not one of them has.
Well, then get up.
If you had confidence in your minister, you would stand and defend them.
That's right.
Trying to limit debate to less than 2 hours, the government backed down after the Speaker supported Labor's plan for all members to have their say.
The opposition are all politics. They're no substance. They have not any solutions.
One trigger for Michael Ferguson's latest performance review from the opposition is a letter written by registrars at the Royal Hobart Hospital. Among a long list of grievances, it reveals ongoing issues with waiting times in ambulances and inside the emergency department.
How many more people have to die before this Minister for Health finally takes action, finally invests in the health workforce, finally puts patients before his own political skin?
Earlier in question time, the government said demand at the Royal Hobart Hospital's emergency department has risen by 21% in 3 years. It says there's more money in the budget to fix the problem.
You will use people's circumstances in here to score cheap political points. Doesn't help anyone, Madam Speaker.
If he won't resign, which would be the honourable thing to do, then the Premier should sack him.
It's a call the Premier was quick to reject.
I and my government have confidence in Minister Michael Ferguson, the job he's done to this point and the job that he will continue to do. We are well aware of the challenges facing our health system.
Debate continues. Andrew McCarthy, 7 Tasmania News.
The no confidence motion has delayed debate on the government's latest attempt at imposing mandatory minimum sentences for serious sexual offences against children. Previous efforts to pass the legislation failed in 2017.
The Liberal Party have been steadfast and very strong with our position in relation to child sex offenders, and that is that they should serve guaranteed jail time.
But just days before the Upper House elections, Labor says the bill's reintroduction is a political stunt.
This bill sat there for 12 months and the government's not brought it on until today. What that bill will do is actually enshrine shorter sentence lengths than what the courts are currently handing down for convicted pedophiles.
The opposition says it will instead push for increased maximum penalties. Tasmanian cricketer James Faulkner has been caught in a storm of worldwide attention after a social media post intended as a joke was widely reported as fact. Our sports reporter Tom Cooper has been following the story. Good evening, Tom. It looks like not everyone saw the funny side.
Good evening, Joe. No, they certainly didn't. The Hobart Hurricanes all-rounder came under heavy scrutiny today following an Instagram post he put up last night saying he was out at a birthday dinner with his boyfriend, referring to his best mate. It's understood that Faulkner intended it to be a bit of a joke, but several media outlets then actually reported it as a revelation about his sexuality. The post even gathered several congratulatory comments from well-known Australian sporting figures. Now, in a bid to clear the air, Faulkner put up another post today claiming he's not gay but appreciated the support from the LGBTQI community. But certainly not everyone was supportive. The post was also flooded with messages of condemnation, such as disappointing you and your cricketing mates can make a joke out of what is a struggle for many. And it may have been a facetious post, but there are a large number of men in sports that have been and continue to be ostracised and ridiculed for their sexual orientation. Now, Cricket Australia issued its own statement on the matter today, saying it does not consider the social commentary from Faulkner to be a joke and that it recognises coming out can be an incredibly emotional time, and the post was not in any way meant to make light of this. Faulkner and Cricket Tasmania were unavailable to provide any further comment today. Back to you, Joe.
A man has been charged after allegedly threatening a female hotel worker with an iron bar during a robbery early this morning. Police say an intruder entered Launceston's City Park Grand Hotel just before 6 a.m. and stole nearly $2,000 worth of goods. A 30-year-old Norwood man was arrested and charged a short time later. The woman was uninjured. Disaster was narrowly avoided on the Bass Highway this morning when a car spun into the path of an oncoming truck. Police praised the actions of the truck driver who managed to swerve his semi-trailer out of harm's way.
A truck lies slumped on the side of the highway. Nearby, a station wagon sits scratched and dented. But listening to Philip Ashland tell the story, it could have been much worse.
I was just coming down here, I was in the left-hand lane, and next thing the car spun out in front of me and come straight across in front of me. And I tried to miss it and ended up down there where I am.
Miraculously, a 27-year-old Latrobe woman suffered only minor injuries. Speed and wet roads are believed to be factors in the crash. Police say had it not been for the truck driver's evasive actions, the results could have been catastrophic.
Amazing. The truck driver did an amazing thing, and to keep it upright and not collide with the vehicle is quite spectacular.
The incident caused minor traffic delays to morning traffic on the Bass Highway leaving Devonport. As for the truckie's safety advice,
slow down when it's wet.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmanian News.
An 81-year-old woman has been taken to the Royal Hobart Hospital this afternoon after being hit by a car in Hobart just before 3 o'clock. Tasmania Police says the woman was crossing the Victoria Street intersection when she was hit by a car at low speed being driven by a 49-year-old man. Emergency services attended the scene and assisted her before conducting crash investigations. Any witnesses are urged to contact police. 2 Tasmanian newspapers have been sold off. Nine Entertainment has confirmed the sale of 170 newspaper titles following its merger with Fairfax Media last year. Former Fairfax executive Anthony Catalano and the Thorney Investment Group have purchased Australian Community Media for $115 million. The sale includes a vast array of regional and rural newspapers, including Tasmania's Examiner and Advocate titles. The sale is expected to be completed by June 30. A 16-year-old who went missing for more than 3 days has now been found safe and well. Aidan Frye was returned to his care home at around 10:45 last night. Police are thanking members of the public for their assistance. Tasmania's West Coast Council is demanding a film highlighting environmental concerns be pulled and a public apology issued from its makers. The documentary, Where the River Runs Red, follows the story of mining's legacy in Queenstown. But the council has labelled the film sensationalist and claims it's deliberately trying to hurt the community. Producer Nick Flynn said the 4-week production tried to include as many residents as possible and strove to document the town's resilience. Well, the Festival of Voices has officially launched its program for 2019 and it's sure to excite Tasmanian crowds. We were given a sneak peek at what to expect in this year's singing extravaganza.
The gentle sound of young voices echoing across the atrium. Captivating members of the public who are hearing what's on offer at this year's annual singing sensation.
There are 86 ticketed events. There are well over 50 free events. There are 13 workshops for people of all different levels. It's a good time to be in Tasmania.
Today's preview showcasing 2 Australian musicians who will sing in this year's Festival of Voices. Christopher Coleman and Anya Barron performing this classic Beatles tune. While getting the crowd and even the Premier of Tasmania into the musical spirit.
This mishmash of whether you just want to sing for fun or listen to some seriously good vocals is what makes it special, I think.
Joan Wright, who was awarded a Medal of the Order of Australia for her contributions to music in January, has been with the festival since its inception.
It's all the time, no festival's ever the same. There's always something, and we're always looking for a vision to have something to enhance it even further.
And she says this year's program is a showstopper.
Probably the most exciting we've had. It's just been a gradual build-up of works all the way through, sometimes just smaller works and now major works, so it's been just taking that next step.
The Winter Festival kicks into action on June 28 and will run until July 14. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmanian News.
It's the biggest killer in Tasmania, and today the Heart Foundation has been urging the public to understand their risks of suffering from a heart attack. The organisation kicking off a national week of awareness by undertaking free heart health checkups in Hobart.
The risk factors for heart disease are silent killers. We're not aware of what our blood pressure might be or cholesterol. So having a heart health check enables a conversation to start with your GP about how we might manage risk factors.
Those over the age of 45 and Indigenous Australians over 30 can see their GP for a Medicare-funded check. It's no secret that walking 30 minutes each day is good for your health. Now, a new study says a morning walk can improve your brain function too. Researchers from the University of Western Australia found that men and women aged between 55 and 80 had significantly better cognitive health. After a brisk walk in the morning, their memory and learning had improved across an 8-hour day. The Hobart Dogs Home is welcoming $150,000 worth of funding provided from the state government to spend on critical works projects. The organisation says it will go towards desperately needed upgrades to drainage, security, fencing and waterproofing of pens. There are 4 dogs homes facilities statewide, and the organisation says people are always welcome to visit and consider adopting a friend for life. Tasmanian mental health charity Speak Up, Stay Chatty has launched its 4th annual Coffee Month to raise funds and awareness for suicide prevention. The partnership with Banjos has raised nearly $100,000 so far, but founder Mitch McPherson says there's still a long way to go.
I know that Tasmania still has some big issues with mental health, and the stigma is the main thing we aim to break down, but we're not out there saying that we're changing the world, but we like to think that our work and just that general awareness every day is making a difference.
During the month of May, 50 cents from every large hot drink sold will go to the charity.
The Hobart Huskies women's side is preparing for its biggest test of the NBL 1 season up against the undefeated Bendigo Braves, while the men will be out to turn things around following a shaky start to their campaign. Coming off 2 dominant performances on the road to make it 4 wins and 1 loss for the season, the Huskies feel like they can match it with anyone in the competition.
2 wins on the weekend is what more could you ask for? We started slow on the Saturday at Sandringham, but in the second half we did what we needed to do to get the W.
But the side's newfound confidence is set to be well and truly tested this Friday night when they take on league benchmark the Braves in Bendigo, who are yet to drop a match.
That monster is a beast of a team, and if everything falls in place and we play the way we know we can play, then it'll be a very good game on Friday night.
As far as what I see from our team, I think our team has the potential to compete against everybody when we come together and just play as a team.
And while the women are flying, the men are yet to find their feet in the NBL 1 with just 1 win from 5 matches. They'll be hoping to turn things around up against Bendigo and former Huskies player Mathiang Muo, who recently traded clubs.
We have a lot of things to work on, but when you're playing against teams that already have that chemistry and been playing for a while, it becomes a big challenge.
Another Tasmanian side keen to get back on the winners list is the Devils after going down by 47 points to the Western Jets in last Sunday's NAB League clash.
We brought our A game in pressure, but then they kept marking the ball. They had 100 uncontested marks, and our petrol on defence went down and we couldn't sustain it.
Sitting in 10th on the ladder with 2 wins and 2 losses, the side take on the Oakleigh Chargers at North Hobart Oval this Saturday. And Premier League hockey returns this weekend, with Derwent keen to keep their undefeated season alive after 5 rounds.
It's a long old season, we have a long way to go, so we won't be getting ahead of ourselves, but really enjoying it so far, and we've got a really good group of girls working together, and we just got off to a good start, I guess, so we're pretty happy about it.
The side take on the Diamondbacks at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre at 3 p.m. this Saturday. Jason White's dream of claiming a record-equalling 8th Targa Tasmania title could be over with mechanical headaches causing setbacks on day 2 of the rally. More than 260 cars roared through the northwest today, with Launceston's Steve Glennie extending his lead at the front.
After a fast start in Georgetown yesterday, Steve Glennie kept the good times rolling. Snaking through the northwest, the Lotus sealed a 24-second buffer by the end of the day. Jason White's Dodge Viper set the fastest time on today's opening stage. But then disaster struck.
Yeah, it's all good. It had had some melted wiring to the cam ankle sensor, so it just stopped, but we've stripped it all back and repaired it, so confident to go, but also confident that we've lost a lot of time, so we'll go and have some fun.
White made it back on the road but was slugged with a 10-minute penalty after being late to lunch, leaving Glennie to glide through the rest of the day, setting quick times in all 6 stages. Porsche driver Matt Close followed behind, finishing in second. The race heads east to St Helens tomorrow before returning to Launceston. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmanian News.
Good evening, Dunalley, friendly beaches and Hobart, all with our high today of 22 degrees, Launceston 19, Burnie and Devonport 18. Temperatures mostly around or above average, St Helens and Grove 21, Strawn and the Islands 19, Smithton and Ouse reached 18 degrees, Lowhead 17, Lyawini 13 today. Now the north and northwest caught most of the cloud today. The thin high cloud also drifted down the west coast as well. The east and central parts of the country under mid to high level cloud. Another band of cloud runs along the south coast of Western Australia. Tomorrow the high is off to our east with a complex low pressure system to our west containing a cold front and troughs which will affect South Australia. The winds north to northeasterly at 10 to 20 knots, reaching 25 knots over the north. There will be a gradual shift to the east-northeast at similar speeds later. Hobart tomorrow 21 degrees, possible light rain later in the day, 20 the high for Geeveston and 19 the top for Bothwell with that same sort of forecast. 21 with rain developing for Launceston, 18 the top for Devonport with rain developing, rain on the way too for Cressy, a high of 20. 18 the high for Burnie with rain on the way, maybe a late storm as well, 22 for Strawn and Curry a late storm and 20 degrees. St Helens a light shower and some late rain, 19, 21 the top for Swansea, Orford possible late rain and 20. On Thursday, rain over the northwest extending statewide during the day, but only light over the east. Showers on Friday, mainly over the north and west with west and northwesterly winds. And on Saturday, showers over the north and west tending to the west and far south later in the day. Showers in Adelaide tomorrow. Showers also for Melbourne, along with a storm there, but fine and mainly cloudy in Sydney. Showers in Brisbane and Darwin, 33 with a shower. Partly cloudy in Hobart, it's 14 at the moment, 12 in Launceston, bit of cloud about and cloudy in Devonport and 12. With that cold front and all those troughs coming, Joe, we're not going to chase this rain away, it'll be here soon.
And that's all from the news team for now. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you a little later with news updates. Bye for now.